ya chiyembekezo. Ichi ndi chaka chimene akhristu akulimbikitsidwa kukhala ndi chiyembekezo cha zabwino mkatikati mwa zovuta zomwe akudutsamo, kukhala okhululukira ena ndi kuyanjana nawo, komanso kubwenzeretsa chikhulupiriro chawo mwa Mulungu. Mchakachi mpingo wa Katolika ukuchita zikondwerero zosiyanasiyana pokumbukira ntchito zomwe magulu ndi mabungwe a mu mpingowo akuchita pa ntchito yotumikira mpingo komanso dziko. Maguluwa ndi monga atolankhani a Chikatolika, anthu ogwira ntchito, atsogoleri a ndale a Chikatolika, aluso, atumiki a mu mpingo, maanja, anthu achikulire ndi okalamba, mabungwe onse a mu mpingo, anthu aulumali, anthu osauka, amndende, ochita malonda ndi ena ambiri. Mwapadera, mchakachi mukhalanso msonkhano waukulu othandiza anthu kumvetsetsa za Ukaristiya omwe ndi thupi ndi magazi a Ambuye Yesu Khristu. Zina zomwe zikhalenso zikuchitika ndi monga kuyendera malo oyera, mibindikiro, kulandira sakramenti la kulapa, maphunzitso ndi zolankhula zina zauzimu. Choncho mpingo ukupempha ma archdiocese, madiocese, maparish, miphakati, zipani za atumiki, mabungwe ya mu mpingo ndi magulu azachifundo kuti akonzekere bwino ndi kutenga nawo gawo mu zikondwererozi. Mutu wa jubilii imeneyi ndi apaulendo achiyembekezo. Tiyeni tonse tikhale anthu achiyembekezo.
You are watching Luntha Television and it's time for news. My name is Helbert Katanda. First, a look at our top stories. The Catholic Church leader, Pope Francis, appraised for victims of plane crash in Washington, D.C. Affordable Inputs program marred by controversy and operational chaos. Ombudsman pledges to finalize screening Kalumos probe in 7 days. And in news from elsewhere, Democratic Republic of Congo leader vows to put in vigorous response as Rwanda-backed fighters advance. Well, we have these and more other stories to stay tuned then. The Catholic Church leader, Pope Francis, on Thursday expressed his spiritual closeness to all those affected by a plane and a helicopter crash in which dozens of people died. No one is believed to have survived the incident after an American Airlines flight and a military helicopter collided in mid-air near Ronald Reagan National Airport. 64 other people were on the plane and 3 on the helicopter. So far, more than 30 bodies have been recovered, and no one is believed to have survived. We have a Vatican News report.
In a telegram addressed to President Donald Trump, the Pope said he commends the source of the deceased to the loving mercy of Almighty God and offers his deepest sympathies to the families who are now mourning the loss of a loved one. He also affirmed he is praying for those involved in the recovery efforts and invokes upon all in the nation the divine blessings of consolation and strength. The District of Columbia Fire Chief coordinating recovery operations said work was ongoing after Wednesday's night crash to find all the bodies and reunite them with their loved ones. Passengers on the flight included ice skaters, family and coaches returning from events in Wichita, Kansas, including 2 Russian-born former world champions. Emergency responders worked through the night and reported that a dive team had recovered one of the 2 data recorders, the so-called black boxes, from the plane. The mid-air collision occurred as the passenger jet flying from Wichita was approaching to land at Reagan. Radio communications between the air traffic control tower and the Black Hawk showed the helicopter crew knew the plane was in the vicinity.
The Catholic Scouts in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe have embarked on an initiative to promote environmental stewardship among young people by engaging them in tree planting and sustainability efforts in local schools. The initiative, which is a direct honor to Pope Francis' call for action on climate change, as shared in his encyclical Laudato Si, targets secondary schools under the Archdiocese of Lilongwe and to encourage environmental awareness among students. Bernard Mwanza reports.
The Scouts coordinator in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe, Violet Machika, says the tree planting is a crucial step in restoring the environment in a world faced by pressing challenges such as climate change and environmental degradation. She says they want to instill a spirit of conservation in the young people, empowering them to care for the environment and recognize the importance of planting trees.
And when we arrive at the secondary schools, we are meeting the Wildlife Club members, all the students that are interested. So we are encouraging the Wildlife Clubs to take part in this initiative and to be the ones to spearhead the initiative, because already it means those children, those young people that are in the Wildlife Clubs already have passion for things of the environment. So we are working with Wildlife Clubs from each of those schools in this activity. So it is easier for us to follow up and to, by just going through the club that is already in existence and check how many trees they have.
The initiative has already been implemented at Likuni Boys Secondary School and St. Maria Goretti Girls Catholic Secondary School. Students participated in planting fruit tree seedlings, including bananas, mangoes, oranges, and papayas within their school premises as a practical approach to environmental care. Commenting on the initiative, Principal of St. Maria Goretti Girls Catholic Secondary School, Sister Srilata Kudumula, says the initiative will significantly benefit students' learning and awareness of horticulture. She says through the initiative, the learners will gain an understanding of the importance of trees and their future uses, and further promote a sense of responsibility in students towards nature. Instead, 100 tree seedlings are being donated per school, and the students have committed to nurturing the planted trees to ensure their long-term sustainability. The initiatives are being supported by German benefactors and local Catholics, reflecting a collaborative approach to fostering environmental responsibility in Malawi.
Malawi's First Lady, Madam Monica Chagwera, has urged young innovators to develop technologies that can aid in diagnosing tuberculosis as part of efforts to combat the disease. She made the call on Friday during a March sectoral engagement on tuberculosis at Bingu International Conference Center in Lilongwe. Her appeal follows the Ministry of Health's emphasis on the need for more diagnostic tools to achieve the country's goal of eliminating the disease by 2030. Rashida Matandika has the details.
During the engagement meeting, which brought together private stakeholders, traditional leaders, and government officials, it was reported that significant progress has been made in the fight against tuberculosis. The mortality rate has dropped by 60% among people living with HIV and by 50% among those without the virus. While TB can affect anyone, the discussion highlighted that mine workers face a higher risk of contracting the disease, and those living with TB patients are also vulnerable to the infection. In her remarks, the First Lady, Madam Monica Chakwera, acknowledged the positive strides in treatment and diagnosis, but encouraged young innovators to develop new diagnostic technologies that can reach even the most remote areas. She also urged stakeholders to support efforts aimed at eliminating TB, aligning with the country's goal of eradicating the disease by 2030.
There is also, apart from high treatment success rates, the percentages are looking very, very good. There are also the adoption of innovative diagnostic tools. Thank you very much. They are helping out because once somebody knows they have TB, at least they can go on treatment and prevent spreading around. And Malawi is the young generation. I understand 80% are under 30 years old.
Coalition of Women Living with HIV and AIDS Executive Director Edina Tembo emphasized the need for government to prioritize domestic resource mobilization to prevent the program from being affected by potential funding shortages.
Yeah, my emphasis was the government should ensure that we are doing domestic resource mobilization to support ourselves as a country, and engaging stakeholders, companies and other individuals who are able to support could be a vital role to maintain the funds which are going to support TB. And on top of that, we also have to look at integration of services, because we might find that there is a lot of funding going towards sexual reproductive health or gender. So if we integrate TB into those thematic areas, we will find that we are doing a lot and also saving funds and also supporting various thematic areas. So I'm urging private sectors, individuals, even the people.
Her Excellency, the First Lady, believes that women can play a key role in eradicating the disease by encouraging men to get tested when they show symptoms and by taking proactive measures to protect their families from infection. Rashida Matanjika, Luntha TV, Lilongwe.
The Affordable Inputs Program is once again embroidered in controversy, with its latest season marked by operational chaos and sustainability concerns. According to statistics from the Ministry of Agriculture, the program has registered a significant showdown in distribution rights. NPK sales have declined to 43%, with only 4,528 units sold, while urea sales have dropped to 47%, with 494,484 units sold. These figures represent a sharp decline from last year's numbers, where NPK and urea sales stood at 92% and 78% respectively. Emmanuel Chuocha reports.
The program's struggles are not new, having faced numerous obstacles over the past 4 years, including the redistribution of inputs, payment issues, and a reduction in numbers of beneficiaries. Data from the Ministry of Agriculture reveal that 3 districts from Northern Region have achieved highest sales at 69%, followed by Central Region at 48% and the Southern Region at 29% for both urea and NPK. Furthermore, 414,247 bags of NPK, equivalent to 20,712 metric tons, have been dispatched, accounting for 39.150%. A total, while 518,636 bags of urea, equivalent to 29,932 metric tons, have been dispatched. In an interview with Luntha, Farmers Union of Malawi President Jacob Onyilongo expressed concerns over the program's performance, citing increased cases of corruption, high levels of stockouts, and missing beneficiary names. Nyilongo noted that the Farmers Union of Malawi, FUM, have not been able to coordinate well with the Ministry of Agriculture, expediting the distribution challenges. The government launched AIP initiative, with the aim providing subsidized fertilizer and seeds to smallholder farmers, thereby boosting food security and alleviating poverty across the country. However, the program's effectiveness have been hindered by various challenges, including a reduction in numbers of beneficiaries from 1.5 million last growing season to 1.1 million currently. Despite these challenges, the government remains committed to supporting smallholder farmers through AIP. However, it is essential to address the operational challenges and sustainability concerns plaguing the programs to ensure its success. For Luntha News, this is Emmanuel Juocha.
Well, you are still watching news on Luntha Television, coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center in Area 2, Lilongwe. Do stick around as we'll be back shortly after the break.
Mtsogoleri wa mpingo wa Katolika pa dziko lonse Papa Francisco anakhazikitsa chaka cha 2025 kukhala chaka cha jubilii ya chiyembekezo. Ichi ndi chaka chimene akhristu akulimbikitsidwa kukhala ndi chiyembekezo cha zabwino mkatikati mwa zovuta zomwe akudutsamo, kukhala okhululukira ena ndi kuyanjana nawo, komanso kubwenzeretsa chikhulupiriro chawo mwa Mulungu. Mchakachi mpingo wa Katolika ukuchita zikondwerero zosiyanasiyana pokumbukira ntchito zomwe magulu ndi mabungwe a mu mpingowo akuchita pa ntchito yotumikira mpingo komanso dziko. Maguluwa ndi monga atolankhani a chikatolika, anthu ogwira ntchito, atsogoleri a ndale a chikatolika, aluso, atumiki a mu mpingo, maanja, anthu achikulire ndi okalamba, mabungwe onse a mu mpingo, anthu aulumali, anthu osauka, amndende, ochita malonda ndi ena ambiri. Mwapadera, mchakachi mukhalanso msonkhano waukulu othandiza anthu kumvetsetsa za Ukaristiya, omwe ndi thupi ndi magazi a Ambuye Yesu Khristu. Zina zomwe zikhalenso zikuchitika ndi monga kuyendera malo oyera, mibindikiro, kulandira sakramenti la kulapa, maphunzitso ndi zolankhula zina za uzimu. Choncho mpingo ukupempha ma archdiocese, madiocese, maparish, miphakati, zipani za atumiki, mabungwe ya mu mpingo ndi magulu azachifundo kuti akonzekere bwino ndi kutenga nawo gawo mu zikondwererozi. Mutu wa jubilii imeneyi ndi apaulendo achiyembekezo. Tiyeni tonse tikhale anthu achiyembekezo cha zabwino, pakuti Mulungu sataya wake makamaka ngati tinkhulupirira. Mtsogoleri wa mpingo wa Katolika pa dziko lonse Papa Francisco anakhazikitsa chaka cha 2025 kukhala chaka cha jubilii ya chiyembekezo. Ichi ndi chaka chimene akhristu akulimbikitsidwa kukhala
Welcome back. Now let's have a look at our top stories once more before we proceed. The Catholic Church leader, Pope Francis, appraised for victims of plane crash in Washington, D.C. Affordable Inputs program marred by controversy and operational chaos. Ombudsman pledges to finalize screening Kalumos probe in 7 days. And in news from elsewhere, Democratic Republic of Congo leader vows to put in vigorous response as Rwanda-backed fighters advance. Moving on, the Office of Ombudsman has acknowledged receiving a request for investigations into allegations that former Immigration Director General Brigadier Charles Kalumo, retired, has been receiving his monthly salaries and allowances for 3 months despite a termination of his contract by the High Court's decision last year. Spokesperson for the Office of Ombudsman, Mande Bondani, has confirmed receiving the letter from Youth and Society, saying as by the law, the office will screen the complaint to ascertain if the allegations fits into the office mandate. Kalumo has reportedly been receiving 2.3 million kwacha and a 40,000 kwacha special allowance and uses the official vehicle for the Director General Prado TX despite the June 6 High Court nullification. Yes, wants Ombudsman to investigate the gross maladministration allegedly committed by the Department of Human Resources, Homeland Security Ministry, and Attorney General, among others. Robert Edward speaks to Mande Pundani.
I can confirm that the Office of the Ombudsman has received the complaint from the Youth and Society that the office should investigate into the matter that you have just mentioned herein. So, as we do always when we receive such complaints, when we receive any complaint, the complaint undergoes a screening process so that we can ascertain its admissibility into the office if it falls within our mandate. As you know that as the Office of the Ombudsman, the Constitution of this nation and also the Ombudsman Act gives us power to investigate any and all cases of maladministration. So the screening is to ascertain if indeed a complaint that we have received falls within that mandate. After the screening process, the Office of the Ombudsman will make a determination or decide on the next course of action, whether it should investigate it or not, depending on what comes out of the screening process. So that's what I can say as of now with regards to that complaint that has come from the Youth and Society.
Malawi's mining sector seems to have fallen short of expectations last year. According to the Ministry of Mining Principal Secretary Joseph Mkandawire, the sector did not perform well in 2024, despite the government's efforts to boost growth through mining as part of its RTM strategy. However, the government says it is committed to turning things around. Mkandawire mentioned that the ministry is working to improve the sector's performance this year by bringing in professional staff and other initiatives. He explains more.
Well, the World Bank is right. In fact, most of the information that was presented came from us, because we know the mineralization of the country and the potential that we have. So, indeed, if we're going to turn around the economy of this country, we need to do a lot in terms of developing the mining sector, because the mining sector will be able to generate decent income for the people, revenues, forex, create jobs, and so on and so forth. So, because we have several types of minerals, we encourage investors to venture into those minerals, including the what they call the green minerals. My basic reaction is that on mining development agreements, I think it's quite historical. They are looking at the time that the last 2 mining development agreements took, or 3 mining development agreements. But mind you, what we wanted to do for this country was to have a win-win situation. I was talking there that we are in this trade as a newcomer, and that's why we call it our green field.
Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Maralitso Kambaua Wirima, has emphasized the importance of education in shaping Malawi's future, particularly in the context of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence. In an interview on the sidelines of the International Day of Education, Wirima noted that artificial intelligence is a powerful tool that can transform education, but it is a must to be responsibly used to avoid ending human relationships and dignity. Charity Jilanga with the details.
Wirima outlined the government's commitment to integrating artificial intelligence into the education system, focusing on 3 key strategies, including raising artificial intelligence awareness, building governance frameworks, and promoting inclusive technology adoption. The minister highlighted initiatives such as the Building Education Foundations through Innovation and Technology Benefit Program, which aims to provide tablet-based learning to 6,000 public primary schools, and the Connect Air School program, which equips teachers and learners with cutting-edge technologies. Wirima urged students across Malawi to take a keen interest in emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, stressing that the future of the country's development lies in their hands. She emphasized the importance of preserving human agency in an increasingly automated world, stressing that education must equip learners with the competencies needed to understand, use, and influence artificial intelligence technologies responsibly. On her part, the Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Jessica Bwila, emphasized the importance of embracing artificial intelligence in higher education, citing its potential to improve teaching, learning, research, and innovation. She stressed the need for investments in capacity building, research infrastructure, and curriculum development to integrate emerging technologies. The International Day of Education was commemorated under the theme Artificial Intelligence and Education, Preserving Human Agency in a World of Automation, highlighting the need to harness artificial intelligence potential while safeguarding human values.
And now in news from elsewhere, the Democratic Republic of Congo's president has vowed to put in a vigorous military response against Rwanda-backed fighters who have advanced further in the mineral-rich east of the country after seizing most of the region's main city. The Rwanda-backed M23's capture of the capital North Kivu province in recent days is a dramatic escalation of the years-long campaign that has seen it seize swathes of territory in eastern DRC. M23, the March 23 movement, is among a string of rival armed groups in eastern DRC, which has been plagued by international and cross-border violence for the past 3 decades. We have a report.
The M23 offensive has rattled the continent, with regional blocs in Eastern and Southern Africa calling emergency summits, and the United Nations, United States, China, and European Union urging an end to fighting. DRC President Felix Tshisekedi, in his first remarks since M23 rebels captured much of Goma, said in a late-night address on Wednesday that a vigorous and coordinated response against these terrorists and their sponsors is underway. He blasted the silence and inaction of the international community, calling it an affront in the face of an unprecedented worsening of the security situation that could lead straight to an escalation in the broader Great Lakes region. Tshisekedi declined to attend crisis talks with his counterpart Rwandan President Paul Kagame earlier on Wednesday. Following the virtual summit, the regional East African Community Bloc called for peaceful settlement of the conflict, urging the DRC to directly engage with all stakeholders, including the M23. In a late-night post on social media, Kagame told South African President Cyril Ramaphosa that his country was in no position to take on the role of a peacemaker or mediator. 13 South African soldiers have been killed in the past week in the DRC, where they were part of a UN peacekeeping force, as well as the Southern African Development Community mission in DRC.
Well, that also wraps up our today's edition of the News Bulletin. But before we go, a reminder of our top stories. The Catholic Church leader, Pope Francis, prays for victims of plane crash in Washington, D.C. Affordable Inputs program marred by controversy and operational chaos. Ombudsman pledges to finalize screening Kalumos probe in 7 days. And in news from elsewhere, Democratic Republic of Congo leader vows to put in vigorous response as Rwanda-backed fighters advance. My name is Helbert Katanda. Thanks for watching, and it's goodbye for now.
Pakatikati pa chalo cha Malawi chinthu chikulu chakuzidwa chakhala pachoko kuchitika kuyambira pa 30 July